Ephesians 6:12 reads, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places." I just wanted to share some quick thoughts about the unseen things that we don't recognize and we don't realize, and how those things can determine situations that we were just not even looking at or aware of. I think when it comes to our election, there were some groups that were not focused on, and because those groups were overlooked and not seen, we didn't realize the great magnitude of what their vote was going to mean and how it was going to possibly alter what we thought the popular vote might be. Do you guys recall when a lot of people were for the Palestinians and they were against the war, and they wanted people to, support the Palestinian side of this war? They were protesting and all of these different things. And I can say from my perspective, living in Michigan, Dearborn has a large Arab community there. And I do recall seeing a report on the news where one of the leaders of an Arab group, I believe it was an Arab American group, was trying to connect with Kamala, but she said she wouldn't see them or something of that nature, or she either ignored their request to meet up. So that comes to mind when it comes to, now we find out the Arab Americans and the people for Palestine, all of these people I'll say possibly in protest, voted for Trump because they felt that the current administration was not seeing them. Again, the unseen people that we don't look at or recognize, but they were shouting out, and their voice was trying to be heard multiple times during all of these protests. And it's like Jews versus Palestine. And for me and my personal thoughts, I'm for people not dying, basically, and not having a war and finding other solutions. But some people were taking sides, and they just felt unseen in this situation. And some of the things like not being getting a response when trying to talk to Kamala, the former president-elect, or I'll say the former presidential candidate. When it comes to the Latino population, we're all seeing this now. I'm not sure why the Latino population voted for Donald Trump, because immigration was at risk, as far as what goes on with the Republican side, Trump side, immigration, we're going to block people from coming through and all of these things. And you would think that some of the immigrants that are here, they would, try to fight for their other brothers and sisters to come over here, or try to protect themselves so that they wouldn't be deported. And I'm not going to say, I'm sure there's a large number of Latino population that are Latino Americans, and they are citizens, and that's a great thing. But I also know there's a part of the population that are immigrants, and you would think that they would want their family members to stay here. You would think that they would possibly want their other family members to come be with them in the U.S. So for me, I'm not sure what their motivation was when it came to voting for Donald Trump. Maybe they are also not happy with the current administration. Maybe there are some things that they don't like about the immigration system as it is now, and they just want change. Maybe people are just voting for change, for something different, and not the same old. So I think that's what Trump represented for them, is something different and change. And people were referring to the stimulus checks during COVID. People were referring to lower taxes while Trump was in office. And they were also referring to prices being better. But that was kind of the cusp of COVID. There's a post-COVID society where things were drastically different due to COVID. And I think any president would suffer during that. Any president would have to try to figure out how to reconfigure things, and maybe they want to give Trump that chance. I have other thoughts. Maybe there is a white savior complex, especially coming up against Kamala Harris, who's an African American and Indian American woman. And some people, even I know some religious beliefs, feel that women are beneath men. So religion can play a part. And just in society, there are still men that believe that women are less than and that women can't lead a man. So they may have gone back to that issue with Hillary when she was running, that a man is the best leader and a woman cannot lead. There are men that feel like they don't want a woman to be over them. Again, there are religions that believe that as well. I will say that it may not be doctrinal, but just the way the woman is represented in many different religions, the man is supposed to be over her. So all of these unseen elements that we may not have been paying attention to, I feel like we were paying attention to the black and white issue mostly. We weren't looking at all of the other cultures and ethnicities. We weren't looking at all the other issues that other cultures were facing and dealing with, and or hardships that they're still trying to go through. So I think it was kind of a wake-up call in a way for us to look at, hey, I'm here, this unseen person, this unseen group, this unseen issue. I've been fighting, I've been talking, I've been out here protesting, and you haven't seen me. I'm not happy with this administration. I'm not happy with these different elements, and you haven't seen me. And I think it even goes beyond culture, race, and color. I do believe some people did vote because they just wanted better financial conditions. They wanted more money in their pockets. They wanted better prices on groceries. So, we know that was an issue. But some of these other unseen things that we didn't focus on, that we didn't look at. And it's a lesson in switching our focus. At the news media at large, the world was saying this is a black and white issue. We need to win the black vote. It is, and also it was an economical issue, an inflation issue. I think those were the two main things that people were focusing on when there was so much other things at hand. And also when it comes to Trump and the insurrection and all that, and they were using that as, hey, we should vote for this guy again. So these were what we were focusing on, and there was some unseen issues that we either turned a blind eye to or just didn't notice at the time. We allowed our focus to be that of which the mainstream media was telling us, when there was so many other things going on behind closed doors. And to me, even though everybody may be surprised, everybody may not be happy with the outcome, but one of the lessons learned is that we need to look at all sides. We need to look at those unseen factors, things going on behind closed doors. And also it shows us that the unseen has a lot of power when coming together, and they have their own agenda, and they're not letting everyone know that agenda. And I heard there were videos out there and different things telling people how to vote. That may be true, but I did not see it pushed in mainstream media in a great way. So they had their own thing going on, and everybody was not privy to. Some of us were oblivious to, and that thing, it was the thing that helped this election turn out the way that it was. So you may feel that you're unseen, but if you have organization, if you have people backing you, if you have a cause, if you continue to fight, this could be considered one of the biggest protest wins of all time. against our society, against the mainstream U.S. mindset is the election and how it turned out. So it's just something to think about when we don't look at all sides and we are kind of oblivious. I could say a lot of us are in our own world. We're concerned about our own issues. That's why we do need to be working together with all these different groups. We need a group where we can kind of come together as different cultures with different backgrounds and different religions and say, what are your concerns? That's something that I feel our government should do anyway, is to have a coalition where everyone comes together. I don't know if everything that Trump may have promised people in the back, because I was thinking Trump was probably tapping into some of these other groups that no one was looking at and had his people out and kind of talking to them, maybe making them promises and working with them. And the mainstream political agenda was not doing that. And maybe, again, it was just the fact that he was offering something different. He wanted to end the war. I think we all want to end these wars, as far as Ukraine and the Palestinian Israel conflict. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but you guys know what I'm talking about and what's going on in our world today. We do want those world wars to end. I do feel better that it's not a lot of boots on the ground, that our troops aren't being sent out to fight hand-to-hand combat. I like that better than them being sent out. We'll see what's going to happen in the interim as we move forward with that. But I just wanted to bring that to light, bring my thoughts to light, and bring the whole idea to light that unseen people have power. And when you come together with organization, you can have power. Everything else that's we look at, mainstream may be fluff. It may not be what's really going on underneath the surface, the foundation of what needs to be worked on. So we really need to assess those type of things. That's really and the other issue is, again, also right to life, pro-life as well. All those were the main issues: the pro-life, the economy, trying to get the black vote, and basically saying Trump is not fit. These were like the main things that people were looking at, when there were so many other issues that other people, other cultures and throughout our community were facing and suffering and looking at. And then there's some that I still don't know about. That's why I really do feel like we should have a coalition where we should come together. And if we come together, we can present all of these things to our political leaders and say, these are all of the things we need to work on as a country. We don't need division. We need to be working together. Okay, we are different and we're different in different ways. Love and respect our differences and what we do, but love and respect others as well. And say, hey, how can we come together and do what is right for each of our communities? And I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably the best that we can try to do. But to me, it's a big lesson. And it also is a sense of hope there, because I feel like we can learn a lesson from this election. We can learn a lesson about working together as community. And even though we do care about the leaders that are in office, there's so much we can do if we work together. And if we know each other's needs, we know each other's desires, we respect those, and we try to have a goal where we can meet everyone's needs the best that we can, this really can be America. So what are your thoughts, comments, questions? You guys can always email me. This is Irene, CBiz Media, single Christian girl. CBizTV@yahoo.com. That's CBIZTV@yahoo.com. Those are my quick thoughts off the top. All the best to you, and God bless.